Callan sped down the road, leaving a trail of dirt in our wake that reminded me of the dust storm that had swept through last summer. From the passenger seat, I watched the barren landscape fly by, brown and almost blinding in its brightness. The road, now nearly buried by the sandy Oklahoma terrain, was cracked and peppered with holes from age and neglect, and I tightened my grip on the door when the tires thumped over a particularly deep fissure. My elbow poked out of the open window, slowly getting scorched by the sun's rays while sweat beaded on my upper lip. When I licked my lips, the salty taste of sweat was accompanied by an earthy grit I had long ago gotten used to. The drought had been going on for 5 years now, but even before the earth had turned to dust beneath our feet, the violent winds had made it impossible not to get covered in sand when you went outside, especially when you were speeding down the road the way we were right now. "Look," Callan called, raising his voice to be heard over the roar of the wind rushing through the car. He kept his hands on the steering wheel as he nodded towards something in front of us. I leaned forward, squinting so I could see through the dusty goggles I wore. Thanks to the sun shining down on the landscape, it took a few seconds to make out what he was pointing at, and even then I wasn't sure what he wanted me to see. It was a truck, pulled off to the side of the road with its doors wide open. Nothing new, really. Abandoned vehicles were common. It wasn't like there were mechanics around every corner. Callan eased his foot off the gas, and the car slowed. He didn't stop completely, though. His eyes, barely visible behind his goggles, were focused on the truck. "It wasn't there last time I came out." "So?" I didn't have to yell to be heard since he was driving slower than before. Callan's mouth turned down in one corner and he shook his head. "Look at it, Reagan." I rolled my eyes behind my own goggles before ripping them off. Callan still hadn't stopped the car, but he was driving slowly enough that I was able to get a good look at the truck as we rolled past it. Blood, reddish-brown against the off-white paint, was smeared across the open driver's side door. My hand went to the gun strapped to my hip. Zombies? I was already scanning the landscape, not bothering to put my goggles back on. There was no sign of the dead, but that didn't mean a thing. They could have attacked this poor asshole, then wandered off, drawn away by another sound maybe. "Look at it, Reagan." Callan had that tone, the one that ruffled my feathers, the one that made him sound patronizing, like he was my father or even an older brother. He was neither, which was what pissed me off. My back stiffened and I shot him a glare, but he just nodded to the truck again. It was behind us now, so I had to twist in my seat and stick my head out the window, but when I did, I saw what he meant. Items littered the ground around the truck like everything had been pulled out and thrown around, as if someone had searched the interior for something useful. Even worse, there was blood on some of the items. Marauders. I turned back around, settling into my seat as I pulled my goggles back on. "Go," I waved to the road in front of us. "Hit the gas and let's get the hell out of here in case they're still around." "They're not," Callan said. "The tire tracks have been covered by the dirt. Whoever did this is long gone." He accelerated anyway, and we shot forward. In seconds, the car was once again filled with wind and dust, cutting off the retort trying to force its way out of me. Not that I was planning on arguing with him. Callan knew what he was talking about, for one, and for two, I could trust him with my life, even if he did irritate the hell out of me 50% of the time.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.